You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
Fluffy unicorns dancing on rain.
Welcome to FUBAR, One Nation Under Fu, and I'm your host, the lovely, the talented, the brilliant, the humble, the tolerant, the Fu. And we're, no one asked you. And we're coming to you live from FUBAR Studios, and I am not a ginger. And we are here on KLRNradio.com for Liberty and Reason Still Reign. Believe it or not, even when you've got road beer on your show, Liberty and Reason still reign. How are you, Road Beer?
Well, nobody said anything about sanity. Oh, I'm well beyond Twitmo now. I have been completely nuked. I am off Twitter.
I thought you were going to say you'd been neutered. Yes, you have. You know what? Twitter and their TOS and their behavior about real abuse versus fake abuse, and I just don't get it, man. So what happened this time?
Well,
You'd
gotten sent to Twitmo for 7 days. It turned out to be 24 hours, and
not even 24 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it was hell for you. And so I decided to engage the black pills because they had nuked Rex, Lunatic Rex too, and Henri Young Guns and me, and so I just my hackles got up.
They did, yes, and you kamikazed on stupid. You knew I was going to tell you that. you flew into crazy knowing they would probably report you to death.
Yeah, but you know what? I technically did not violate the TOS, so this is...
No, you didn't. But that doesn't stop them from getting you suspended, because what they do is they report you for other crap you're not doing. They trip some crazy weird... I think I saw something that there's like 50 words, and if there's a certain word in this list that you tweet, that they get you. And what happened with me was that little person, that really small-minded little jerk-off, impersonated me. And then when I listed who they were so people knew they were not me, Twitter thought I was target harassing that person for telling people they weren't me. So I got locked for being the victim of it being impersonated.
Well, yeah, and that's, those the same thing. I remember when you called out one of my impersonators, and they...
Same person.
Same person, but they actually were able to get Twitter support to ask them to DM the harassment that they were experiencing while you were calling them out.
Oh, I know, because I was bullying them because they were target harassing you. And this is what's happening across the board. And I think it's, I hate to say this because everyone always like, oh, the conservative, tinfoil conspiracy. But when you witness it, I have actually had this whole joke about, gosh, guys, I guess my skirt was a little too short because I'm the one who got in trouble, not the guy impersonating me. What happened was the person impersonating me deactivated their account. So support messaged me and hey, we can't help you because this person deactivated. And I said, well, you locked me. And this person doesn't exist, so why am I still locked? And I don't know if that's what got me out or not. I'm not sure what happened. But it was kind of a ridiculous thing. And it was shocking, actually, how quickly they did respond and free me from jail. But I don't understand why they are still kind of holding you in this Twitter cell of hell. I don't get it.
Well, it even goes beyond that. As I tried making a new account, and as soon as I uploaded an AVI, they nuked me.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't get it.
So I don't know. I don't. Everybody's asking you what's going on with me and other people, and I don't know. The only people who know what's going on with me is Twitter support. Ask them, because they're not answering me. No. They're not answering you.
No.
So I mean, all I can do is just what's her name, Sebelius or whatever. That's the head of Twitter safety and
Sebelius or something.
Sebelius, yeah.
No,
you know, tag her in with my name, tag in Twitter safety, whatever. You ask them because we don't have answers.
No, we don't, and I feel bad because you have quite a large following of females who support you, and that's great. God bless all you ladies for listening because he's here.
Oh, my harem.
It's your harem. God bless them. But I don't have any answers, and so I'm like, ladies, I'm sorry, I don't know, and it's frustrating because I can't tell them anything, and it gets me even more frustrated because I wish Twitter would respond to you in some way. And then I get really irritated because you nuked yourself this time. So just like,
Twitter Akbar.
You were like going for what did Rick say? The 72 Twitter virgins.
Yeah.
Totally Twitter Akbar'd yourself. Oh my God. And I hate to laugh at your pain because, well, actually that's not true. I enjoy laughing at your pain.
You always have.
I know it's a family thing, but all I can see is I could just see you flopping on this dumb grenade and blowing up.
It was kind of that. I mean, I felt bad for Rex. I mean, Rex wouldn't say crap if he had a mouthful of it.
And Rex doesn't. I don't know what happened with Rex. Lunatic Rex, you guys, if you're listening, we're talking like you're not listening, and we just are kind of assuming you know who people are. Rex is a misfit, and he's a wonderful misfit. He's been around a long time. I've known him quite a while. Probably one of the most level-tempered, smart people out there tweeting, and he got nuked. So we don't know. I mean, again, people make fun of, the conservatives think they're being silenced, but there's some weird crap going on, especially right now. And the 280 characters, oh my God, with the 280. Are you reading any of these tweets?
I saw one tweet that justified its existence. They did the whole Abe Simpson onion on the belt bit. And that justified it right there. Other than that,
I don't read them. I think Twitter has conditioned people to only read so many characters because someone gets on this ranty, and I have trolls in my timeline who have twice as many characters to wish death on me now. So I'm like, I don't get this.
Yeah, that's.
Hey Sam, this is how I'm really going to kill you. Have fun with that. It's really detailed now.
Yeah, they can get more descriptive about having you in the crosshairs while you ate dinner. Yeah.
Yeah. They can talk about how they can't wait to shoot me when I have my back to them. It's really good fun. But who really is getting it right now is Dana Loesch. Oh my God.
I feel so. I feel bad for her, and yet I'm still mad about the Fist of Truth thing. So
yeah, I get a lot of people's frustration with the Fist of Truth ad. And I also understand, though, where the NRA was coming from with that, because it is kind of a war right now. And what you're seeing after this latest shooting, and we're going to talk about that, of course, is how they will try and manipulate media and lies and no facts to push this anti-gun agenda. So on one hand, it's like, wow, the NRA kind of went overboard with this ad. But then you see what they're doing after the shooting. I mean, there was some jackass telling people this guy was firing 900 bullets a minute today. Mm-hmm. And they're like, wow, where did you find that stat? Well, I wasn't saying 900 bullets. And I showed him his tweet. He goes, that's not what I meant. I'm like, well, that's what you said, dummy, because it's right here.
He was firing a 900 clip magazine.
Yeah. I mean, it went off in a minute, He'd have to have 10 guns, but it just made no sense. And, there are people talking about that there are no gun laws and that you can just go into Walmart and buy a machine gun. And it's easier. Some dummy said it was easier to get a gun than it is to vote in this country.
That reminds me back with Obama, where it's easier to get a Glock than it is a book. And
oh my God, the Glocks and books.
The Glocks, an Angie hashtag, but yeah.
Angie hashtag. Angie's always doing that. But you're right. It's like people believe this. He's on our top 10 douchebags, but I got to also talk about Matthew Dowd today. Said that the Second Amendment had been founded to make sure that the government was protected. So are you
Matthew Dowd? Matthew Dowd is a writer. He is a wordsmith. He has allegedly a wordsmith. He has books. He has this little pack thing. Listen to Us, where on the front page it has the first sentence of the preamble of the Constitution. How do you get that right and not anything else in the Constitution?
Because it's like they pick and choose what they want to talk about and how it can support their argument. I had someone today telling me that because Thomas Jefferson wrote to the Baptists, about separation of church and state that he was implying that was in the Constitution. I said, no, he wasn't implying that. He was making sure that they understood that the government wasn't going to stop the Baptists from worshiping. And he's like, no, but he was implying it meant. I'm like, no, he wasn't implying shit. And neither was the Constitution. He tried to tell me the Constitution was implying separation of church and state. I told him he was on crack. Nicely.
Well, the Constitution, for what it is a legal document. It is a document of laws. You don't imply things in a legal document. It was written very specifically. And the Second Amendment is probably the most gangy written of all the amendments. All the other amendments are very clear. And once again, talking about wordsmiths, there's that comma in there that throws off everybody on what the Second Amendment is actually saying. And I wish that it had been written better, but it's concise, and it is what it's
implying. It was implying that we should have free health care and free college. And you know that? That's what it was implying. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all on here.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
I can make it imply whatever I want it to imply. I need my 72 Twitter versions.
You do need your 20. Okay, guys, if I have to be honest, I have had a large glass of wine tonight. So I'm a little off my game, but thank God RV is here to keep us on our game because that's what we need.
Radio Akbar!
We need that, Radio Akbar. And we need fart noises. Oh, and I promised my husband that I would give a shout out to the Colorado Rockies who are in the wild card game tonight against Arizona Diamondbacks.
Is that some sort of sports ball?
Oh, God. You don't watch baseball?
No.
Am I really going to be the boy here and talk about sports?
No, we can talk about football all day long. We can talk about hockey.
No,
we can talk about curling. But baseball, I'm sorry. I watched that when I need to take a nap.
You're a Raiders fan, dude. We're not talking base football.
Shh.
I'm Broncos fan. You're like my mortal enemy. You know this. But how could you not watch? Baseball is America's sport, man.
I don't know. Baseball is a contact sport. Football is a collision sport. Hockey is a collision sport. Curling is. I just watch it to try and figure out what the heck is going on in the game.
Is that the thing where they're like scraping the ice in front of the thingy and it?
Yeah, that's where maids really excel at swimming.
It's so dumb, and you watch that over baseball.
Only during the Olympics.
Oh, God, you make my head hurt, and I'm not even remotely drunk yet. But I promised him I would do that. You guys, I'm going to take a break here shortly, and then we are going to go over our top 10 douchebags. But just so you know, this is totally unorganized tonight, and it's RB's fault that we're even on the air. So I'm going to let him totally run this thing. No, I'm just kidding. But we have some structure, but it's not going to be the normal structure because we have no guest tonight.
We don't need no stinking guests.
No, we don't need no stinking guests, not tonight. But so we're going to kind of do it, kind of play by ear. If you guys, we have some people who might call in. It's just kind of a free-for-all because the show will be on hiatus for a couple weeks after this, mainly because I have things that are happening in life, like children getting braces and traveling for work and all that good fun. But we are going to take a little hiatus, which is one of the reasons why we're here tonight. And I think RB was feeling bad for Rick having to put up with my hateful elitism over the next few weeks not being here. So, yeah.
Way to sell it, sis.
That's not how it works.
We're not here for the fan.
That's not how any of this works.
And Rick is, of course, putting up with me as always. So, but yeah, we also, I think what we probably need to do before we hit those top 10 douchebags is we probably need to talk a little bit about Las Vegas and really talk about what happened and what we're seeing. It was really, it's one of those things where I'm really lucky to do the thing I do for my day job. I love my day job. I'm very blessed. But what I learned this week is it's also really awful sometimes too, because you're covering something that is just absolutely inhuman. And you're watching people suffer. And I'm usually pretty good about being able to disassociate and separate from things because you really have to. But there were photographs of these people the day after because they were still on the ground, and it was like morning, and they looked like they were napping, and they were just young kids. And I cried all day. It was one of those days where you were like, oh, traffic's going to be awesome because people really want to read what's going on, and there's so much stupid out there. People are saying dumb things. But then you see these photos of these young people who look like they're sleeping in the sun, and you realize they're not sleeping in the sun. And that was really, really hard. And I know it wasn't just hard for people trying to cover it. I know anybody who was witnessing it probably was going through the same kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Shut RB down. Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys, we're going to take a really short break. And then when we come back, we'll go through this week's top 10 douchebags, so stay put.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
And we're back from break. Thank you for staying put. You are here on Food Bar with Foo and the Road Beer, who was actually quiet for a moment. It was shocking before the break that he was being quiet. But, honestly, I was kind of on a tear. I think I took him off guard. But I know without being on Twitter, you're not probably seeing as much stupid as I was, but I imagine that you were seeing what was happening in Las Vegas. And I'm kind of curious, since you're not exactly far from that region, what you thought about what you were seeing.
Well, I lived in Vegas for several years too. I worked out there in construction and tending bar, and it was just seeing that area and knowing the venue, knowing the hotel, knowing exactly where it happened. I mean, I don't want to say it hit close to home, but it was kind of like, I've been there. Not that I could have been there because country music isn't my thing, but I've been there, and it's just kind of, it sits in your head that could have been any other venue, and I might have been there.
Well, and my husband and I, for a long time, we were there 3 and 4 times a year because, we're hateful elitists, and we were out there so much that it became kind of like a second home for us. And so to see it and know exactly where the gunman was and know exactly, these shootings are never something that you can look at and go, oh, well, moving on, As much as the left would like to pretend that those of us on the right don't care about these things, they hurt, I think, twice as bad for people who understand the need to protect gun rights and the Second Amendment even after a tragedy like this. Because it is not an easy thing to say to somebody who is terrified now. I think it was a drummer, has suddenly decided he is, wants gun control, and who can blame him? He's been fired at. I get it. And
it's like, when during the Paris bombings with the band that was on stage, and nobody can blame you for changing your view on things when something like that happens. But this is, I really hate to say it, this is the price of freedom. The freedoms we have, you do have to pay a price for them. It's not all warm and fuzzy and, comfortable all the time. Freedom is a painful and sometimes violent thing. So is keeping it.
It's not pretty, it's not fun, it's not easy, but it's something we must have. And it's really hard when you have people saying, well, the right wing are domestic terrorists because they want people to have guns and nobody needs a gun like that. And it's their fault he had a gun. And, it's an awful argument because you spend so much time defending that it's not personal, that you're not saying, gosh, I'm really glad this guy had a gun. You're just saying it wasn't the gun, it was the guy. We shouldn't limit law-abiding citizens. This guy was not a law-abiding. He broke the law. Murder is illegal. What he did was illegal. What law would have stopped him from doing what he did?
Right. I mean, you can make the argument that, well, if there weren't guns, then this wouldn't have happened. Well, I'm sorry, but I could go to Home Depot and buy 7 different things that could make a bomb. I mean, look at them. Look at Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
No gun was involved in that whatsoever, and many people were killed. So people will find a way. If they have the means, they will find the way.
They will. And, I think when we start talking about gun control, we are truly limiting law-abiding American citizens from defending themselves. The people who are going to obey the law are already the ones who aren't going to go out and shoot somebody. Well, the people you're hurting are the ones who need to protect themselves from the bastards who will.
And I'm not a fan of the law against automatic weapons. Being who if you want to own a nuke, go ahead and own a nuke. If you have the means and the ability, you should be able to own it. But okay, so there's a federal law against automatic weapons unless you have a permit. But
tens of thousands of dollars and a ton of other things. Yeah.
But what this guy had is a way to circumvent that law. It's called a bump stock. If I'm not familiar with them. I just learned about them this week. That it bypasses that law. So, do I think that there should be a regulation? If you're bypassing a law to make then yes, I think there should be a regulation on those too, because it's the same thing as filing down the pin so that way you can make it an automatic weapon. It's just,
right.
I believe you should be able to own the automatic weapon in the first place, but since they are banned, okay, you know what? Everything that converts it into that should also be regulated, or at least, have an idea, hey, this guy's buying 7 of them. Maybe we should,
Maybe there's something going on here.
But the argument is always deflects away from the real problem, and that is that mental health support in this country is terrible.
Oh, it's abysmal. And we absolutely vilify people with mental illness.
Yeah, and it's, everybody said, well, the asylums were horrible places, but at least some of them were getting help. Some people did actually leave the system, and
the issue that we have with mental illness is that people want to do very big picture things. They don't really want to work on the issues of individuals with mental illness. It's like the answer for Democrats is, okay, this guy has PTSD. His doctor told me he's mentally ill. He can't have a gun now. No due process, no real defense of this person's legal rights because this doctor has diagnosed him with PTSD. There are many vets who will lose their right to own firearms because of this. So there has to be a smarter way than just this vague, hey, we're going to have doctors ask people if they feel like killing people, and if they say yes, we're going to take their rights away. There has to be a better way to support people with mental illness without making them the bad guy. Because there are plenty of mentally ill people in this world who live their lives every day without harming a hair on anybody else's head.
Well, and my problem with the PTSD thing, especially when it comes to taking rights away with it, is that is such a blanket diagnosis.
It's like autism.
Yeah, exactly. It's just we don't know what it is, so we're going to call it this.
Yeah, your kid is socially awkward, so we're going to say they have a disability and they have autism, and Merry Christmas, now they have a diagnosis and they qualify for all these services, and we didn't have to work with this person at all. Yes.
Yeah. And so let's just strip their rights, and that's where I have the problem with that. Is that no, you need to have specific. If you're going to take a person's rights away, you need to have a specific diagnosis and show that they're a threat to society.
Well, and then you talk about the whole guardianship thing, and I'll get off on my other job forever if I don't shut up. But I got to talk about this a little bit, because what happens when you go in and you say, well, this person is mentally incompetent, I need to be their guardian. Not only do they lose their right to own a firearm, but they might not be able to vote. You can basically decide if they do or don't get married. There's a huge spectrum of issues a person faces if they have been deemed mentally incompetent. And this happens all the time with people with disabilities. Their parents do declare them mentally incompetent, then they can't get married, they can't move out of state, they can't have a job, they can't have a gun. I mean, there's just, it's always when you lump people in with a diagnosis, when you blame this huge, massive thing without really dealing with what's going on, you hurt innocent people. And that's what Democrats don't understand in this whole argument, is that you can't just ban all the guns and you can't just ban anybody who has mental illness, because ultimately someone out there with a gun has mental illness and they're perfectly fine with that gun every day. Mm-hmm. So, and I didn't mean to get off on this because, we should be talking about douchebags. But
Right.
it is one of those things, and this kind of plays into the douchebags because so many people on the douchebag list this week are because of this discussion.
Every time that there is a tragedy like this, it brings it's a race to who can politicize it first.
Mm-hmm.
And and then you have people when people say, "Well, you really shouldn't be politicizing this." Well, you did. Okay, so everybody's an idiot, but.
Yes, they are.
But when things like this come out, you understand how little of our rights people really understand.
They don't get it. They don't understand, and they don't understand that the Constitution protects them from the government, and that the Constitution means that their rights are God-given and inherent, that if you allow the government to pretend they gave you your rights, they can take them away.
This goes back to the best anarchist meme there is you have the protesters faced off against the police. You have an arrow pointing at the woman who's getting mace sprayed in her face. The arrow says, "Once more government." The arrow pointing at the cop spraying her in the face with mace, more government.
Yeah, so. It's true. It's true. Like the same people who've been calling everybody fascists for the last 9 months who voted for Trump now want people to be able to go into people's homes and take their private property, which is fascism. It is ironically stupid, and I don't, either you laugh or you don't stop crying because it is just constant stupid. And I hate to say it because it sounds really heartless. Before I knew how many were dead and before I really started looking at the news, it came up in my feed that there'd been a shooting in Las Vegas. This was Monday morning. And my first thought was, oh my God, the stupid on Twitter day is going to be awful. Because I had to work. So I knew going into Twitter, I would see all this stuff and it would be so bad. And my first thought was, ugh, I do not want to deal with the stupid today on that timeline. And it sounds totally selfish, but it's based on how I knew they were going to react to what happened.
I woke up, I think I fell asleep with my TV on Sunday night. I woke up, Doc Thompson was on the Blaze in the morning, and I heard about the Vegas shooting, and I just rolled over in bed and said, thank God I'm suspended from Twitter.
And it's so dumb. Because nobody
it is selfish. And it's and I feel bad having that thought, but on the other hand, would we do this for what we do? The amount of stupid that needs to be absorbed of just.
I tell you what, you think you really do as a conservative or as a whatever you are, a minarchist, anarchist, whatever you are. There is this feeling of you need to get out there and spread the right message and get people the right information and stop people from saying dumb things. And it doesn't matter because you kind of fight one argument and then there's another one. And it's another wall of stupid, and it's another wall of douchebags. Hey, look, I can roll it into douchebags.
Look at segued, almost like a professional.
I know, even though I've had like almost 2 glasses of wine now, I have my wits about me for now. Guys, we need to do the top 10 douchebags of the week. Otherwise, it'll be like quarter till, and I'll be running through them. If you're familiar with the show, you know that we do this every week. And if you're not, shame on you. You should be here every week. But what we do is we go out into social media and we talk to our friends and family and loved ones and people who don't even like us. And we ask them to send us people they think who've been acting not so nice in social media for the past week. We filter through the crazy, and there's a lot of crazy, and we pick the top 10 of those people who have been the most awful over the last week, and they become our top 10 douchebags, which is a nice way of including you guys in the show and being lazy and making you write part of the show for us, which works out great. And earlier, I sent this list to RB so he could help get me through it.
Hey, I gotta pull it up.
Yeah, get your notes, man. Get your notes.
Okay, I got it. Right. I'm ready. I'm here. Let's go.
Let's do this. At number 10 on this week's top 10 douchebags list is Matthew Dowd, who we talked about earlier. Matthew thinks he's a Catholic. He may be a Catholic. God bless him if he is. But he says a lot of stupid things about Catholicism and a lot of stupid things about prayer that aren't right. But that's fine. At least he believes in something. But he's also a douchebag because he's the one who said that the Second Amendment formed a militia to make sure that the government was protected.
Hey, I talked about his webpage has the preamble of the Constitution in it, and he thinks that in the middle of the first 8 amendments of the Bill of Rights are individual rights, except for the second one, which is a collectivist right. I mean, I can't even process the logic behind that.
He thought this was smart, and this is what drives you the craziest with dealing with the gun grabbers and the gun control fanatics, is they think what they're saying is right. That there was something to what he was writing that was going to blow people away, and it did. It made us all think he was incredibly stupid. I tried to explain. I think he ignores me, or he has me muted. He hasn't blocked me yet. God bless him for that too. But I said, hey, no, dude. The Second Amendment protects us from an overreaching government because the founders knew what could happen if only the government had guns, that they would lose their freedom. So they knew better than to say, hey, let's make sure the government's the one who has guns. They wanted to protect us from the government, not protect the government. I was even nice. He'd have been proud.
It's always when something like this happens that all of a sudden the Brits open their mouths and opine about our gun laws. It's like, you're the reason we have that law.
You're just mad because we got away. Right. We never came back.
British Twitter, whenever there's a gun tragedy in the United States, is my favorite Twitter, but I was suspended this week, so.
When you were suspended, you got to miss out on all the crazy, and the douchebag at number 10 is Matthew Dowd. At number 9 is Tim Murphy. Do you know who Tim Murphy is? Yeah. Thank you, Tim Murphy, for reminding people what garbage the right can be sometimes. Tim Murphy is a Republican, and he's a staunch pro-lifer who got caught encouraging his mistress to have an abortion. Yay. Thanks for that, dude. That really helps the whole pro-life movement on the right. You're helping out great.
This speaks to overstaying your welcome in D.C. And what a pit D.C. is that,
It's a pit.
But, I mean, he's an 8-term rep from Pennsylvania, and you've been there too long.
Listen to you doing your homework. Yeah, go ahead.
I did do my work, but he's been there too long. Don't get me wrong. His voting record is pretty solid, but it's hypocrisy like this, and the left has no shortage of hypocrisy.
No, we know.
They thrive on it, but
it
makes it harder for us to make our arguments when they can do point whataboutism at Tim Murphy.
Yep.
So thanks for that.
Thanks for that. It's great. When someone on the right does something stupid, like we're still hearing about the whole video with Trump saying he can grab women by the PUSSY if he wants to. Even if he didn't do it, even if he was just saying he could do it, all we hear now is that Donald Trump grabs women by their vaginas, which is silly, but whatever. He might not. I think it was dumb to be even caught saying he could if he wanted to. But we have nowhere to talk on the right about such things when people on our own side do these things, like Tim Murphy, who is a douchebag, at number 9. At number 8, we have to go on to Haley. Are you good to go on to Haley?
I'm good to go on Haley.
Haley Geffman Gold. She's the ex-CBS exec. She's a legal exec who said she had no sympathy for those killed in Las Vegas because they were all likely Republican gun toters. 58 dead people, innocent people, dead. And she had no sympathy for them because they might be Republicans who owned guns. She got fired.
Her time at CBS was slightly longer than my second marriage. She had only worked there a year.
Well, with no reason. It's like with Dowd. What made her think that was an okay thing to say?
We talk about this all the time, is that you're on social media. You are in a position to where you're working for a big company and people are paying attention to you. It's not like me. Nobody cares what Road Beer says. But
yeah, they do.
Well, yeah, but not.
Trust me.
Nobody's watching. Well, I can't even say that anymore.
No, you can't even
keep those thoughts to yourself. If you're going to put it on Facebook, somebody's going to screen cap it, and that is the rest of your life.
That is the rest of your life. There's another person who did not make the list, but it's the same kind of comment. He was a deli owner, and he said he was relieved that when he found out it was just a bunch of people at a country music concert who had been killed, that somehow he thought that was a good thing, and he felt like it was peaceful that all these dead white people were gone or something. He owns a deli, and people were out, and they were like on Yelp marketing it 1 star, and he came out and apologized, said, it just really affected me. I shouldn't have said it. I'm sorry. And they're like, too late, you're an asshole. And this lasts forever. It's a great point,
Oh my God, the damage is, why is this parachute packed with silverware?
See? Exactly what happens. And I'm not anywhere like a CBS legal exec or whatever. People read me because they're crazy, but I also know I have to be careful. If I say something really stupid, guess what? It will hang on me the rest of my days.
Yeah, and your job kind of it's
like anybody we live in a day and age where if you say something stupid, there's someone else that they're happy to get you fired for it. And that's just the reality of where we are. But that doesn't stop her from being a douchebag. And number 8.
I think a lot of the left thinks that they're insulated from it. It's like, oh, the media is not going to pick this up. Completely ignoring that there's a whole other sphere outside their echo chamber that is just waiting to destroy her.
Oh, yeah.
And it goes both ways. I mean, it's, we face it and they face it too. So
they just don't think they do. And we know we're really, and even when we're careful, though, we still get hammered.
Yeah.
I know you know that from experience.
Yeah.
And number 7 is Keith Olbermann, because he called Ben Shapiro and Donald Trump whores.
The great thing about that exchange was that Shapiro gave him a compliment sandwich, and that's where he's just completely dragging him, compliments him on his glasses. I really like your glasses, though, and then continues to drag him.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought that was just kind of like, yeah.
Shapiro's the master. There's things that you can say about people who are good in social media. I'm good with a slam every once in a while. But man, Shapiro is the shiznit, and he has a way of enraging these people and just kind of being, you're mad now. I'm going to make you madder. And he pokes them, and then they look like idiots. He's really good at that.
He shamed my state legislature today, in person, which was great.
Because
it was yesterday or today. Yeah, he stood in front of the California legislature and said, "You know what it cost me a year ago to speak at Berkeley? $0." So the problem is a problem you created.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, Ben he's the best, and Keith Olbermann is the worst. And I don't know what Keith's trying to do. I know he's probably fighting for some relevance at this point because no one really cares about him anymore unless he's yelling curse words at Donald Trump. But this made me laugh because it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch Ben Shapiro just destroy him.
It became his shtick when he called Bush a fascist, and that's going to remain his shtick, and that's why he's had 1,600 jobs between now and sitting in his basement wrapped in a flag, shouting on YouTube or whatever it is he does.
Rocking back and forth. He blocked me when he was still working for ESPN, and I can't remember what I did to make him mad, but it doesn't matter. Long time ago, but he's still a douchebag at number 7. At number 6 is Kurt Eichenwald, Mr. Tentacle Porn himself, and this NYT journo, Ben Borkman, I think his name was. And I wrote, the asshole who threatened the life of Dana Loesch after shooting an LV. Somehow, magically, the NRA pulled the trigger, you guys, in Las Vegas. And so by association, Dana Loesch is also this evil. And so they've been attacking Dana all week. We stopped by her timeline. I've written about her this week, tried to give her some support. But people are saying just awful things to her. And it goes back to, how is this the tolerant left? How can you believe they want to protect people's lives with guns? Let's save a life, stop the guns. When these same assholes are telling her they hope she gets shot. When they say things like, I had you in my crosshairs. When they say, I hope you get raped. I hope your kids get shot. How do they expect us to take them seriously about caring about life when that is their behavior towards one woman in social media? Now, Dana is no lightweight. Dana can take it and pop it back, but even Dana has got to be getting tired of this amount of garbage on her timeline.
Well, it's relentless. I mean, when she was no big fan of Trump during the election either, she caught it from the alt-right, and now she's catching it back from the left again, and, the thing that's got to be frustrating for her is she used to be one of them. She used to be a Democrat. She used to have those opinions. And now she's the model of, here's what happens when you wake up from your status dream. And that's probably why they hate her more.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Well, it was kind of that way. I know also with the Trump movement and what was happening in social media when she, Katie Pavlich, and a good deal of other really well-respected conservatives came out and said, there's a problem here. And we're really concerned with what's going on with Donald Trump. We don't agree with a lot of things he said. His policies have been questionable. And it was like your own people suddenly were attacking you. Mm-hmm. And I mean, from my own personal experience, that was horrible. I'm used to getting attacked by the left. I've been called everything. I've been threatened, you name it from the left, whatever. But when it's your own side and you're in your head that this is, my side and their side and your side is wishing death on you, it's a weird dynamic. And so I think it changed a lot of people. And I know it was hard on her. It was hard on me. It was hard on a lot of people. And now you're just trying to get through with what's happened now that he's been elected. And now you have the left jumping on you and calling you, everything in the book, even though you're not a Donald Trump person. You know that you may not even have voted for Trump. But now, since you're on the right, you're guilty by association, so you must be destroyed. And I don't know who Dana voted for. She could have voted for Trump. But man, if you look at her timeline right now, it is nonstop garbage.
Oh, it's a dumpster fire.
It's so bad. And I once interviewed her husband. Chris came on the show, and I asked him, how do you deal with that, knowing all these people? And this was even before Trump. This was a long time ago. And, he loves her so much, and there is so much respect between the two of them. He's such a great guy. And, he just was like, I'm just prepared to protect my family. And that was, that was it. And it was really well done. And she's got a lot of love around her, but boy, she's going to need it right now because it's just bad out there for her.
Yeah.
And so these people like Kurt Eichenwald, Mr. Tentacle Porn, the New York Journal who said F you to her and then F you to the NRA and F you to anybody who had a problem with him saying F you, they're all douchebags at number 6.
I'm pretty sure Will Wheaton is in that bucket, but he has been blocked, so.
He has everybody blocked. Anyway, at number 5, see, now it's catching up to me. At number 5 is Anne the Resistance. She was an account on Twitter. She's a teacher. Yay, public school. And she said that she hoped everybody who was killed in Las Vegas was a Trump tard.
Yeah, I actually had to catch on to that from secondhand source because by the time I heard of it, she had already nuked her own account, and
Yeah, she tried to run.
This is just more of the left. Yeah, it's like everybody who's not when her little mindset is obviously a Trump tard and one of the most evil people on the planet, and
she was praying that it was Trump tards that had been shot. She ran from Twitter. First, she deleted the tweet. That didn't work. So then she deleted her account, but that didn't work either because people, tweets last forever, and websites will write about her. Lots of us wrote about her, and so we all know that Anne the Resistance, the teacher, is a douchebag at number 5. And speaking of douchebags, number 4 is Tariq Nasheed.
My favorite parody account on Twitter.
The list. He makes the list this week, though, because he blamed the shooting on white supremacy.
Of course it was. I mean,
the white guy went to a hotel room and shot a bunch of white people. That was white supremacy.
You know who Theron is? Real Brother Radio.
Yes, I do.
Matt's racist.
Yeah, he's.
Tariq is a parody of him.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think that he's just another Godfrey Elfwick. I really do. I can't believe that a real person has these thoughts on purpose and post them on Twitter.
To give him a blue check mark. Yeah, he's a real person. He's been verified. He's real.
You can't get a blue check, but him and Doug's guy have blue checks.
I guess if I start blaming white guys killing white people on white supremacy, maybe then, and if I stop shaving my armpits and stop taking showers, maybe they'll verify me. But anyway, Tariq Nasheed is a douchebag at number 4. At number 3 is Hillary Clinton. She came right out. She tried to get out before Trump made any comments. She tried to play president before he could. And she came on social media and she's like, oh, we grieve and we shouldn't politicize this. The next tweet was, but screw you, NRA, this is your fault. Seriously. It was like...
Let's not politicize this, but please hold for my political message.
Let's not politicize it, but I'm going to politicize it really quick. And, she started talking about silencers and that, that the NRA is trying to... Which there's not, and they apparently think silencers are these magical things that make guns silent. It's so dumb. These are the same people who think you can go to Walmart and buy a machine gun.
If that sniper in Bosnia had used a silencer.
Oh, she probably, who knows if she'd have gotten out alive.
That's probably why she imagined she was under gunfire. She heard something that sounded like a silencer and thought somebody was shooting at her.
And that's what's so frustrating to people who understand guns and gun laws, and that there are thousands and thousands of gun laws, that these morons say dumb shit like that, and then they want more laws that are already laws to begin with. We should have background checks. We do have background checks. But we should ban machine guns. Well, technically they are kind of banned already. Well, right.
We need to close the gun show loophole. There isn't one.
No gun show loophole. Well, I'm going to go to the library and I'm going to get a gun. No. I'm going to go on eBay. It's not how it works. And none of them know how it works. They just think they do, and they want to make laws, which is why Hillary Clinton probably fits in just great with them, because she has no clue. Hillary was one pushing the no-fly list. If you make the no-fly list, you shouldn't be able to have a gun.
Well,
yeah.
Just to clarify something real quick, though. Hang on. Got caught off guard for a second. I actually got an Uzi 9mm with a 900-round clip just by following the NRA. It shoots 300 bullets a second. I'm just saying. All you got to do is go follow them. They'll send you one in the mail. No, not really.
Is that the new yearly membership package? Because I might consider joining them again.
Actually, that was like the lifetime membership package. I got that.
Did
was
you see? Austin Peterson lost his Facebook page because he was giving away an AR-15.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Oh, they can wish death on people and they're fine. And Austin wants to give away a gun to someone who has to pass a background check, and they shut him down. Good times. But back to the list. Hillary Clinton, huge douchebag at number 3. At number 2 is
Evergreen.
Jimmy Kimmel. Oh, Jimmy was almost number 1, but he didn't quite outdo the guy at number 1. But Jimmy Kimmel has suddenly become the expert on healthcare and now the expert on gun control. CNN called him America's conscience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He wasn't on the Man Show. And so
the irony of that whole thing is I saw this week that he said he has to up his armed security because of the comments that he had made about the NRA and gun owners.
Yeah.
But process that for a second. You need armed security.
Right.
But you're against guns.
Your security away.
Right.
He wants to say who can and can't have guns, what kind of guns they can have, all behind his gated community with his security.
Mm-hmm.
Of course he feels like he's safe not having weapons because someone he's hired and paid a lot of money will protect him and put their lives on the line. But he would like to disarm me because he thinks guns are mean.
Well, rights for me, not for thee.
It is, and that's exactly that. They should put that on like the Democrats' bylaws. Don't do as we say, not as we do. Rights for me, not for thee. Speech for me, not for thee. All that good stuff. He makes me nuts. The whole thing with healthcare last week with how he's so lucky because his kid has a heart condition. I'm sorry his kid has a heart condition. It's terrifying to have a kid with issues. But he'll never have to worry about healthcare because he's got money. He never has to be concerned about the crap care he wants to stick Americans with because he'll never have to worry about it. He'll never have that level of care. It is the most condescending crap like the gun stuff.
Well, it's the trait of the nouveau riche to slam the door behind them. It's I'm rich now and I'm going to slam the door behind me so that way nobody else can follow in, I am uncontested in my security, whether it be in the job or anything else. So that's just typical, that's what the anyway. I could go on a whole rant with that, right?
We don't have another hour for the show, dude.
No, we don't.
You're right, though, and that's what's so frustrating. It's kind of like talking back to all these people who are experts on guns who aren't saying we need more gun laws. It's the same deal with Jimmy. The things he talks about, he'll never have to experience. He never has to worry about. And there he is lecturing Americans on late night television about what they should be worrying about and how they should live and what rights they should have. And he's a douchebag at number 2.
Jimmy, could you show me where you had this opinion prior to 2013?
Prior to 2017 even. None.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, he's a douche. And the number 1, speaking of douche, is Stephen Paddock. Stephen Paddock is the gunman in Las Vegas. He's dead, and I'm glad he's dead.
Hooray!
There were 49 dead people, but only 58 of them really should be mourned or innocent because he also was killed. There are incredibly bizarre stories around him. One being that he is a bazillionaire real estate investor. Others that his father was wanted by the FBI, that his father was a kidnapper. There's another piece out there that he converted to Islam several months ago. The stuff around his girlfriend, Mary Lou. Is it Mary Lou Danley?
I only started hearing about the girlfriend today.
They somehow shipped $100,000 to her home country before all this happened. There is just crazy around the story. And, the media, if this guy turns out to be Antifa or a leftist or truly was a convert for Islam, the story will disappear.
Oh, completely.
If they can't say he's some crazy white guy, Trump supporter, killing a bunch of people, they don't want to report on who he is. They want to report about gun control and taking guns away. Right. It's a very convenient thing that he's white. But it's inconvenient that he fired on a country music festival. Because guess what? Not a whole lot of minorities at country music festivals. Not trying to be racist or generalized, but it's just the reality of the concert. They can't say he was targeting a rap concert or even a dance concert. There is something weird between what he targeted. And that's going to drive them nuts. So notice what they're doing is they're focusing on the firearms he had and how did he get the guns and were they illegal, were they illegal, not on who he is.
Right. And that's what they do. It's like with the guy who went and shot up the Discovery Channel offices. They focus on everything but on who he was because it doesn't fit their narrative.
Well, it's like the Tennessee church shooting last week, too.
Yeah, that
guy was from Sudan. He was shooting up a church in Tennessee out of revenge for what Dylan Roof did. Can't report on this. You heard hardly anything about what happened because this gentleman was from Sudan. I think he was a refugee. And he shot up a church because he was mad about white people. Notice they don't cover that. If they find that this guy was a Trump supporter in any way or ever gave money to the GOP or was Republican even once in his life, that will be the story.
That's all we'll hear about for the next 4 years.
Yeah. If they find out, though, that he was a Democrat and he hated Donald Trump and he was trying to make a statement about hating America, he'll disappear.
And that's why, a lot of the things I've seen, too, is you're a coward to not call this terrorism. We don't know his motivation yet. Terrorism is a very specific thing. That's why for those of us who words matter, we'll use terrorist or we'll use mass murder. Right now I'm calling this mass murder because there is no political or religious motivation that we know about. As soon as there is one, then I'm all game to call it terrorism.
Right. Well, they say it's because you're racist that you won't call him a terrorist because he's a white dude.
Yeah, but if he had a beard, yeah, okay.
Yeah, see, that's the whole thing.
Everything's dumb.
Everything's dumb. You can see why I had to have wine to get through the show tonight. You guys.
Speaking of dumb, can I just ask a question? I want to derail for just a second. What was with the paper towels?
Oh God, Trump was in Puerto Rico and he was throwing paper towels out. Paper towels for you and paper towels for everyone. It was like Oprah.
Okay. They don't. I get that paper towels are super absorbent and they have a lot of water problems there right now.
I don't know.
But okay. These people need water. He has his own label of water. Wrap it in a MAGA T-shirt. Fire it out of one of those air cannons that they shoot T-shirts into the crowds for that killed Maud Flanders. Get people that way. You put Ivanka in a Hooters outfit and shoot him out. I don't care. But paper towels, that makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Well, it's like giving Plato out at Sandy. It was nice that he did so. And I'm glad he's there, and he's getting a lot of bad press he doesn't deserve in Puerto Rico. Some of it he does deserve because he said some dumb shit on Twitter. But he's getting a lot of negative press. He doesn't really deserve it.
He tries, but he really needs to run these ideas past people. Hey, guys, I want to give out paper towels in Puerto Rico. Hey, boss?
Don't do that.
Maybe some MAGA T-shirts or something? I don't know.
How about some ramen noodles and some water, dude? Let's figure this out. I get it, but I do think he's kind of getting a raw deal there in Puerto Rico as well. So, phew, dude.
So,
I made it through, and I only had 2 glasses of wine, and I can still speak English pretty well. So we're doing good. You guys, just again, reminder, we're going to be on hiatus a few weeks. We will be back. We are not ending. Just Bunny's life is just crazy. And RB will be back with me because I need someone to make fart noises for the show and keep me entertained. Please stick around tonight. The Conservative Curmudgeon with our good friend Grouchy. He's up next. He's live and he's awesome. So stay put. He also had a birthday recently. Repeat after that. Well, oh yeah, RB had a birthday. You guys totally need to. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, donkey brother. Happy birthday to you. Stay put. We got Conservative Curmudgeon next, and we have Jesse's voice, followed by the Stafford voice, and then America Off the Rails with my lovely, wonderful producer, Rick Robinson. Thank you for being here tonight, you guys. We'll talk to you in a few weeks. Stay out of trouble till then.
Hail Hydra.